Hey YouTube, how is it going today? In this video, I want to do an update on ATOSSA Therapeutics Incorporated, ticker symbol ATOS. This one has been falling hard, but I think we could be getting close to a bottom. So I want to get into their chart and show you what I am looking at. And then after that, I want to get into the chart of NETLIST Incorporated. This stock has been absolutely screaming higher, and I think this thing could be setting up for some nice potential trades. Now, if you're new to my channel, I have been trading and investing for over 20 years, and in each video I will show you trades that I see setting up right now. So if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing so you don't miss any future trading and investing ideas. And also, if you would like to support the channel and become part of our Patreon community and see what we are buying and selling in real time for a measly $10 a month, that link is in the description. Okay, right here I have the daily chart for ATOSSA Therapeutics Incorporated, ticker symbol ATOS. But before I get started, if you don't mind liking the smash button, help me out with the YouTube algorithm, I would greatly appreciate it. But please remember, I am not a financial advisor, so please make all of your own trading decisions. But with all that being said, let's dig into this chart for ATOSSA. Now we can see that ATOSSA had a nasty reversal last week, and I got into this one last week, but I did not make any money on this one because it just reversed too hard. I'll get into the intraday chart and show you where I got in and where I got stopped out at. But I had been watching this one for several weeks. In my previous videos, I was talking about how I wanted to get in at this level right here, and I missed it by right around 10 cents or so, and this thing took off without me. That would have been a fantastic gain if I could have got in right around 480 or so where I was looking to get into, but oh well, it happens. I found another entry, but unfortunately it didn't work out because we had a big reversal, but I think we could be getting close to a bottom on ATOSSA right now. So let's get into the intraday chart and see if we can see how this thing is shaping up after these last 2 days where it's been consolidating. So if we go to the 15-minute chart and back it out a little bit, well, first off, let me show you about the trade that I did end up getting into. I bought the stock when it pulled back to this purple line right around, I think it was like $16.15 I got in, so it was up a little bit. And it had a sharp reversal after that gap up the next day, and it looked like it was starting to trend up again, but unfortunately it ended up breaking down through this support area, and that's when I got out right around $5.85. So I didn't lose a whole lot on it, but once it broke down through this support area, I knew that I didn't want to be in the stock, and it ended up falling a lot farther than I thought it was going to. But if we look at this chart right now, we can see it looks like it could be trying to carve out a bottom. Now, I would like to see it break down to a new low and then have a reversal back into it. That makes me feel better about getting into stocks that I potentially think are bottoming out. Because in my experience, usually when they have a false breakdown and then they move back up into a consolidation, it usually means it's a higher probability that it is going to end up bottoming at that point in the chart. But as far as I'm concerned right now for ATOSSA, it hasn't really made that pattern yet, so I'm still kind of skeptical, but this has been a huge move down, all the way from 715 to the low of a couple days ago down to 372. So you're talking about a 50% move down. So this thing is definitely due for a bounce, and that's one of the reasons why I am keeping a sharp eye on ATOSSA. And another thing that ATOSSA is doing right now, it's making a little bit of a descending wedge formation. It's kind of sloppy. It's not as well defined as I would like to see on a stock, but it looks like it's starting to move into a little bit of a descending wedge formation nonetheless. I mean, this thing might have to bounce around just a little bit more, so we could be a couple of days or maybe even a couple of weeks away from a bottom in ATOSSA. I think it is getting started. I'm not saying that it's definitely going to be going down for another couple of days or couple of weeks, but if this pattern continues to play out this way, that might be how long it takes for it to materialize and end up breaking to the upside. But ATOSSA is definitely due for a bounce, and it is finding support right here, and this is long-term support, so it wouldn't surprise me one bit if this area does hold. And that's what I'm actually going to be hoping for, because I think even if we do get a nice breakout here, that means that this stock could easily end up going all the way up to this trend line. That's a move all the way up to about 5.25 or so. So that's a pretty nice move from right around $4 a share. So I think ATOSSA for the most part, is looking like it is getting close to a bottom. I'm going to be keeping a sharp eye on ATOSSA, even though this thing kind of bit me right here. I was expecting a little bit more of a pull-up, or I should say of a breakout, because the trajectory was so high, but it was a little bit of a fake out. You know, selling came in probably from everybody that was trapped in this stock right around here. Once it got a little bit closer to where they were in at, they probably took their smaller loss, and that was enough to send this stock down. But I do think ATOSSA is getting pretty close to a bottom. I'm going to keep a close eye on it, and if I do end up getting back into it, I will let you guys know. All right, so the next stock I want to talk about is NETLIST Incorporated, ticker symbol NLST. Somebody made a comment about this one, so this is the first time that I am seeing this stock. The reason why it has escaped the clutches of my scans is because it is an over-the-counter stock. And man, this thing has really been moving up. I did a little bit of looking around on the internet. I couldn't find a whole lot of information on this, but I guess they are locked up in a lawsuit with Google. So I don't know if potentially that is going to bear fruit or what, but this stock is absolutely screaming higher. And just look at the volume that is coming into this stock. I mean, normally the stock trades around, call it right around, I don't know, maybe around 500,000 shares to 1 million a day, and this thing has been consistently trading right around 4.5 to 8 million or more. I mean, this thing is under some serious accumulation, and this chart, even though it is so extended, I think this thing is just screaming like it's going to go even higher. I mean, just the amount of volume that is pouring into this stock. I hate to say that being this far extended. I don't want to get FOMO, and this thing has FOMO written all over it as well, but man, this just looks like one of those charts that end up going to 20 or 30 or beyond, just with all the volume that's coming into this. Every little pullback is bought up immediately, and it is pulling back today. Actually, when I looked at it earlier, it was right near the high of the day. So this thing has been pulling back since I last looked at it, and I think if this thing pulls back down to this 8-period exponential moving average, that's setting up for another potentially profitable day trade. I would say that this thing has a strong possibility of potentially making it down to this purple line, this 21, but with all the volume that's coming into this, I don't know if it makes it down there. I mean, this thing is due for a pullback, and even if it does pull back that far, that's a healthy pullback for a stock that has moved up this high, and that could easily turn around and make another high. But I just wanted to show you guys this stock because, like I said, I hadn't heard of it before. If any of you guys know anything about this stock that's interesting, please leave it down there in the comment section for me. I'd love to know more about this stock. But this thing, with the amount of volume that's pouring into this, just has extremely higher prices written all over it. And I'm like torn whether I want to get into this now. Pray that it has a pullback, and I can maybe, finesse it perfectly and get in on a pullback. But I just think that this thing could be much higher in the future, because normally when you see volume pouring into a stock, it ends up being something like this. You normally get like 2, 3, 4 days in a row of some above average volume, before it just completely falls off. You normally don't get, these many days in a row of that much more, of that aggressive of buying. So this kind of tells me that somebody or somebodies knows something that not everybody else knows, and they are trying to grab as many shares as they possibly can. And I don't know. I just think that I need to be a part of this stock, because I wouldn't be a bit surprised if the thing's over $20 a share in the near future. But if any of you guys know anything about this stock, please leave it down there in the comment section. I would greatly appreciate any information you could give me. And man, if we get a pullback in the next couple of days, it's probably going to be really hard for me not to buy into this stock, because this thing looks like it could be much higher in the future. Okay, everyone, that is all I have for this video, so I'm going to end it right there. But if you have any questions or comments on any of these stocks, or if you have any other ones you want me to take a look at, please leave it down there in the comment section. I will get to them as soon as I can. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end, and until next time, take care, everybody.